following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Nick Eatman, David Hellman, Ambar Garcia, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Friday, October 1st, 2021, Season 17, Episode number 32. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We are live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. I got Nick and Dave here with me, and we're going to get you guys ready for the Cowboys game this Sunday against the Carolina Panthers at AT&T Stadium. It is a noon kick. And it's probably a little bit more of an interesting matchup than maybe we thought when the season began, because this team comes in 3-0. So we'll get you guys ready to tell you what we think is going to happen, tell you about some of the storylines that you should follow this weekend. Before we get to that, though, Nick, why don't you give me a 32?
Dennis Thurman.
Dennis Thurman. 90s, 80s?
No, 80s.
80s. Okay.
Thurman Thieves. That was the there's a poster. There's a famous poster called Thurman Thieves, and it was like, I don't say famous, but I mean back in the 80s, you know, back those posters, a lot of kids had that, and it was like him and Everson Walls and some of the other secondary guys. It was Thurman's Thieves. That was kind of a thing.
So he was like the leader of that.
Yeah, they got a lot of interceptions back then. I mean, it wasn't a passing league back then, but man, I mean, when Everson Walls gets 11 picks as a rookie, can you imagine a rookie free agent coming in and getting 11 picks?
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, and then you know he led the league 3 times, and I know we've talked about Everson Walls a lot.
Yeah. Who was opposite him back then?
Well,
couldn't have been Renfro, at least not.
No. Well, like in the 80s, it was like Ron Fellows played over there, and he was Ron Fellows and him, and so. Okay. But 32. Walt Garrison, I think, also was 32. He's kind of a
That's
cowboy.
What I would say, Walt Garrison.
Walt Garrison, yeah.
But you know, I actually thought about it. I was like, I don't even know a current. I mean, last few years, a 32.
You're kidding.
You're kidding, right?
I mean, Scandrick.
Yeah.
Scandrick wore it for like a decade.
That's what immediately came to my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why I forgot him. Yeah. Anyways,
Corey Clement's wearing it now, I believe.
No, I didn't even think about Scandrick wearing 32.
I think just because
that's true. He's wore it for a long time.
Especially because if you're the franchise quarterback or like an all-pro player, then you're going to wear that number for a long time. But like considering who he was, and I'm not throwing shade at him. Like Scandrick was a 5th-round pick who was good, but never like at the top of his profession.
Right.
And he still managed to stick around for 9 years or whatever.
Well, those guys come around, like especially when you're at he was a slot guy and he played pretty solid. He was a pretty solid slot guy. So I've seen guys stick around that long. And you can play special teams. There are lots of things that kept him around.
It's impressive when a guy manages to hold on to a job with one team for that long without like ever being in a Pro Bowl or any of that type of stuff.
Or a good mood.
He was at the hotel in L.A. before the Charger game.
Yeah.
Super nice. It was nice to see him. He was friendly. He had a much better attitude.
He wasn't
Oscar.
Know what?
He had a much better attitude.
Retired.
But that's honestly the thing. Like, you guys have seen it. Guys retire and their whole disposition changes. Like when they're a player, they kind of look at you kind of like side eye.
Of course.
But as soon as they retire, it's like, what's up, man? Everything's cool. It's
honestly,
it seems like it all is okay.
As big of a horse's ass as he could be, Scandrick was one of those. I would say it to his face.
Yeah.
Scandrick was one of those people.
He knows it. Yeah.
But if you could like give it back to him or show him that you weren't going to get your feelings hurt or whatever, or like you could spar with him, he appreciated that, and he would kind of respect it, if not be outright friendly about it.
Yeah.
That's when I realized that he wanted me to say something mean back to him. I think our relationship got better. So
him and Broadus get better.
It's an unhealthy relationship, but go for it.
That's what most of my close friendships are like. So maybe
that says a lot about Mr.
Fair.
Dave Hellman.
That's fair.
What were you saying?
I just said, did him and Broadus get better?
No, I don't think that ever happens.
Well, we'll leave that one alone. We'll leave that one alone. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about. Let's start first with some injury updates. Carlos Watkins, Donovan Wilson, Dorrance Armstrong, Ty Nsekhe, we presume, are all out because they have been injured, and nothing has changed with their practice.
Watkins was out doing rehab stuff with Britt yesterday, which is like a good sign.
Yeah,
it's a good sign, but it's not a sign that he's probably ready for Sunday.
Right.
So.
And talk to me about the COVID guys. We still no go on Neal and with an eye.
No change.
All right. So likely they're probably not.
Very unlikely they would play in this game.
All right, not practicing. I mean that's another thing. I mean they've had it. They're dealing with it, and then you're not practicing. You got to, it's not like you just get off the list and it's fine.
And they're not. I mean, it's not like they're even past for Neal at least. I don't know if he's even past the point where he could come back, even if he were not showing symptoms.
Right.
All right. Randy Gregory. Where's Randy Gregory?
He's fine.
Okay. He missed practice with a knee injury.
Randy Gregory had I don't need to do this today itis, which he had a knee issue in training camp. Guys get dinged up, and they were like, "You're good today. You don't need to do this today."
Yeah, he actually walked by us at practice yesterday, and Mickey said, "Did you quit?"
Oh my God,
Mickey?
I think they have a funny relationship. I think,
okay.
yeah.
What did he say?
He said, "Man," he goes, "I'm old, man. I'm not 22 anymore." I'm like, okay, what, 27?
Right.
Yeah.
When did 27 get old? Jeez.
Yeah, I mean. And, when you think about it, and this is not saying anything bad about where he is, but, however old he is, he hasn't had as much wear and tear on his body like other players from that age. He just hasn't played as many games. But yeah, I think you're right. It didn't seem like he was too.
Mike McCarthy said this morning that he fully expects him to play. And that, you gotta parse through the injury report. Some guys are on there because they aren't going to play, and some guys are on there because teams are being smart, knowing that it's a 17-game season. Randy's fine.
I saw something the other day. We talked about defensive ends. Who's going to play that? If Dorrance is not playing and Nye's not playing, who's going to rush the passer? And obviously Micah Parsons is going to do some of that and other stuff. But I saw a play where Hurts ran on the sideline, and Jalen was trying to level out and really beat him to the spot, not take an angle and really get him. And I think 59, Golston, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all see this play where he comes flying into the picture? And, I mean, I'm not calling Jalen slow, whatever it is. This guy had a burst that, I mean, he just shot right past him and really was the guy to force him out of bounds. And I was like, dang, I mean, that was an impressive play there by Golston.
Yeah,
he's got some agility to him there.
He had a couple flash plays. I mean, for where he's been and how little he's played. It was impressive that he did as much as he did in his first game.
Yeah, honestly, that's one of the things that I'm liking right now about this defense, and I think is a big difference for them is a lot of these young guys, they can move. They have built a fast defense, and I think that shows. I mean, you even look at somebody like Osa. Osa's making these flash plays as well. He's getting into the backfield. I saw another play where he ran all the way down. He was in the line, in the middle of the trenches when the pass was thrown, and by the time the play was completed downfield, he's downfield trying to make the tackle. I mean, that's a defensive tackle, and I just like the fact that these are young, fast, agile guys that are flying around on this defense.
They have revamped the athleticism of this defense very quickly. And it's not to dog Jalen, but watch those plays. Watch when Jalen is between the hash marks and needs to get to the numbers. It's not ideal. It doesn't. And then watch Parsons do that type of stuff, and you can see a stark contrast in terms of how quickly they can get to where they need to be.
And the best part about it is that they've added a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism, but they've also added a lot of size too. Mm-hmm. It's a different looking team. They got bigger guys across the board. So, just listening to Bucky describe the Panthers about how fast they are, they also have seemingly some undersized guys. Cowboys have done it with good athleticism, but not really lacking a lot of size.
And I think he said in that call, it was it 2019 when the Panthers became the first team to do an all defense draft?
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me, Cowboys went last year. It wasn't all defense, but it was the vast majority was defense.
Significant,
and they revamped their defense in one offseason, and this defense is playing a lot better.
That's Rule's calling card. I think. I mean, I don't cover the Panthers, but I think he got there and he was like, "All right, I'm going to fix what I know how to fix, and we'll worry about the quarterback situation later."
Yeah.
And it looks like what's happening.
Yeah, I think he's a coach that's gonna, he's looking to see who's going to win a fist fight. like that type of guys, those type of defensive players, toughness, and that's a good place to start.
Yeah. I know being in the Big 12, what he did at Baylor was pretty freaking remarkable.
He's a hell of a coach, man. He turned Baylor into a good football program, turned Baylor around after everything that went wrong with them, losing all the talent that they lost, the scholarships and stuff, and now he's in the NFL and
seems to be doing something similar.
I don't think the Panthers are as good as the record indicates, but they're a good football team.
They're better than they were last year.
You said Baylor twice. I think Temple. Did
I say?
Yeah, he was being Temple and then
Temple?
Baylor.
I didn't say Temple. I'm sorry.
Now
he turned Temple.
That was really, really impressive there at Temple.
Yeah.
I thought I said Temple. I'm sorry.
But I would just say, the whole Baylor thing, I was really, I was thinking as a Big 12 guy, all right, we don't have to worry about Baylor for a while. It's going to take them a while to get from under the scholarship stuff. And by the way, and then quickly, they were like, oh my God, Baylor's actually pretty good all of a sudden. And so, he did a pretty good job there.
Temple was the team. I have childhood memories of Temple's Penn State's opener every year. Just there, throw them to the Lions, 60-3 game. And then all of a sudden, Temple's winning 8-9 games every year.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna.
I was thinking of this Cowboys running back that played at Temple, Paul Palmer. You ever heard of him?
No, I haven't.
I should.
Wasn't a 32, by the way.
No, he was a 26. I should have used him on the 26. the year that the Cowboys beat the Redskins for their only win, 1-15. Paul Palmer was the running back, and he lit them up that day, and the Cowboys finally got a win, beat the.
This is great. I've learned a legitimate amount because the '80s are definitely my Cowboys weak spot because about the legendary '70s teams and obviously the '90s.
Yep.
And
it was
the '80s for me at least.
It's a cloud.
It was a transition decade too. I mean, you're still thinking you're good, but they're really not. They keep losing guys, and then just kind of plateaued all the way. But I think when I start giving you these answers, numbers, I'm going to give you the Nick answer. And then I'm gonna give you the right answer.
Okay, that's fine.
I like that.
Because it's like when you say 22, whatever. There's a right answer.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple right answers, but Emmett,
Yeah.
But I'm also gonna give you another.
Just
one
know, this is not just a 1 year thing. So you don't have to use them all this year.
Yeah.
We'll have episode number 32 next year as well. So feel free to kind of say so.
I'll just tell you next week. You don't even have to go to Monday because there's going to be a crazy game. We'll talk about Monday. You'll have time. Sure. Yeah. I'll just tell you right now, there's only one answer.
Yeah, rookie season Cheeto Awuzie.
No.
No, my bad.
All right.
Nate Jones.
Let's take our first break. When we come back from our break, we're going to talk about storylines. I got a few storylines for these guys. We're going to figure out what they think is going to happen in this game. A little later, hopefully, we'll get to some questions. We already have a couple questions from Twitter. If you guys want to call us at 888-855-2297. We'll be right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by three simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10. Free shipping!
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to the break.
All right, head to AT&T Stadium on Saturday, October the 2nd, to experience Rally Day presented by SeatGeek. Take a tour of the stadium, play some games, get autographs from the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, and more. Visit attstadium.com/rallydays for tickets and more information.
It is the second segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. Let's talk storylines. Cowboys will take on the Panthers this Sunday at noon at AT&T Stadium. Panthers are 3-0. Cowboys are 2-1. First question I have for you guys. Carolina has a 10-day break coming into this game. Dallas is on a short week after playing a Monday night game. How much of an advantage is that for Carolina?
I mean, it's an advantage. I can't get as worked up about it as a lot of people do. And I know the Cowboys played Monday, so I get it. That's an extra day where you're not resting. But
Thursday to Monday, it's like the two extremes, right?
Yeah, but what I was going to say is Cowboys played on Thursday to open the season. Chargers played on Sunday, and they turned around and played the next Sunday. Chargers were on a short week. I know Dallas's week is shorter, but my point is that every team in the league deals with this stuff. At least the Cowboys are at home when they have to do it. So, yeah, it's probably an advantage for Carolina, but welcome to the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, it's an advantage a little bit. Just, also when you think about what Carolina is probably going to have to do to win this game, defensively. They're going to have to probably come up with some different things, and they got a little extra time to do that. But that happens around the league. It happens all the time, and I just there's so many things you have to factor in as a schedule maker. I don't know if you can say short week versus short week, long week. Did you say the Chargers, did they play Monday night?
No, that's what I'm saying. The Chargers didn't have as short of a week. I'm just saying the Chargers played Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Cowboys had the long weekend off because of the opener.
You can't match up everybody's Thursday. And
there's no way with all of the moving parts and the fact that they play 4 nights a week now or however many nights. You're gonna have these weeks, and if people have a problem with it, watch less football on TV. Give the league less incentive to do this stuff. But we know that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So what do you want to do?
I mean, they watch it like when it comes to like Thanksgiving stuff like that. The Cowboys I think will always from now on have a road game
as long
before
as
Thanksgiving. Just to make it before Thanksgiving. I know that's been a lot of things teams have kind of complained about because the Cowboys get that
it offsets the fact that you're always playing a Thursday home game.
Yeah. And I bet you that I have to look at the last few years, but I bet you the team that's traveling to the Cowboys will probably play a home game
the Sunday before.
The Sunday before.
That seems like a good bet.
Yeah. But you can't. But is it an advantage? Yeah, it's an advantage. I mean, coaches think covering their mouth before they call a play is an advantage. So, yeah, they probably think this is a disadvantage.
And by the way, this is not the question was not from the standpoint of a complaint as much as it is are you expecting to see something different? Because again, when you're talking about, it's one thing for a team even to have played on Thursday and the other team to have played on Sunday. You're talking about the two extremes. You played on Thursday and then the team played on Monday. That's a significant amount of difference in recovery is what I'm saying. And so do you guys expect to see that play out on the field is what I'm asking.
No. Teams, Monday Night Football has been a thing forever. Teams know how to play on that schedule. Getting ready for Thursday, that's a different animal, but you still have 6 days. And again, that's why you do stuff like not practice Randy Gregory, even though he could probably practice. And actually, there's a whole interesting wrinkle about it from a preparation standpoint where McCarthy was talking to us this week about how they had people on staff who on Saturday and Sunday of last weekend were game planning for Carolina. They're like, the hay's in the barn for Philly. We'll take care of that. But you guys, let's do some advance work. And then Tuesday morning, the coordinators, Kellen Moore, those guys, Dan Quinn, they skipped the Philly game. Like they got up. I'm sure they probably watched the tape that night after the game, but they got up Tuesday at dark 30 and we're on to Carolina. It's just the way you got to do things in these situations.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Carolina has the number one defense in the league. Is their number one defense the result of a weaker schedule, or will this be the week that someone slows down the Dallas's high-powered offensive attack?
I think that is the central question with this game.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
very
That's the storyline.
Yeah,
so what do you think is going to happen?
I think both things can be true. I think again, Matt Rule's a great defensive coach. Phil Snow as well. He's been with them. They've known each other forever. They have talent. Obviously, we talked about that yesterday. So I don't think it's a complete fluke, but they have not played somebody of Dallas's caliber on offense yet. They just haven't. Even the Saints, who have a more veteran offense, were decimated by COVID. So yeah, I mean, I respect what Carolina's done, but I'm not intimidated by it.
It's the best time of year. This is college football, pro football. It's the best time of year because football season's going on. You're in it. And it's still early enough to not know everything that's happened.
Every game's fun.
Every game is, and you think you know some stuff and you don't. I mean, like I think, Dave, you alluded to the 2019 Cowboys. Is that right? 3-0?
Started 3-0.
3-0, and everyone said they hadn't played anyone yet. Mm-hmm. And as it turned out, they hadn't. And it showed. And I think they finished 8-8.
They sure did.
So, and it just, the bottom fell out there in the week 4, and they faced a defense that shut them down there in New Orleans. And then the Jets came, and I guess there was a loss in between there. I can't remember how those 3 losses went.
They lost the New Orleans game.
Oh. New Orleans, and then the Packers, I believe, and then the Jets.
12-10.
12-10.
Hated that game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's early. It's you're both things could be right. I mean,
it is, but I'll take Dallas's resume so far up against just about anybody, and that screw the Philly game. I'm not even talking about that. Going on the road and beating a very talented Chargers team that just beat the Chiefs. Transitive property is not a thing, but that is a testament to their quality that they can beat the Chiefs. And then you take Tampa Bay to the buzzer on the road in that environment.
Yeah. And what we thought of Tampa Bay's defense coming to this season based on last year was that was going to be a really, really great group, which returned all of their players. And the Cowboys put up points on them. So.
Yeah, and I think, when you look at the Cowboys-Panthers, I think the Cowboys should get more of the benefit of the doubt. Because if you said coming into it, hey, Dak's going to be rolling, that offense is going to be going, they're going to play all kinds of ways, Kellen Moore, you're like, okay, I saw what I saw last year and him healthy and all that. Yeah, I could see that. If you're like, Panthers going to be 3-0, their defense going to be, menacing. Like, oh, really? So you're just sort of surprised a little bit. So if you get the benefit of the doubt, but that's why they play the game. They're going to play it Sunday. We'll find out. This is a statement game for both teams.
I'm going to say,
I love about it.
If Carolina wins, they'll be the talk of the league.
Yeah.
Not that Dallas is seen as this juggernaut, but it's like, okay, you went on the road and beat a great quarterback, what looks to be a pretty good team. Yeah, I mean, they'll be the talk of the NFL if they win this game.
People will talk less about what the Saints were missing and say more of, hey, they beat the Cowboys and the Saints.
Yep.
And both those teams you think are two of the better, not great, two of the better teams in this at least in this conference, right? And so, yeah, that definitely changes the narrative on the Panthers.
What a difference a game can make, just in your record. Yeah. Just think about where we're going to be sitting here on Monday. A 3-1 or 2-2.
Big difference.
I mean, it's just
huge.
It's a huge difference in where, even though it's one game and it's a longer season, but man, this is a huge game for the Cowboys. If they're going to be the team they think they're going to be, you have to Jason Garrett stack wins on top of each other. That's what you have to do.
That's why football's so great. You get one shot at it. And I mean, you get 17 shots at it, but you get one a week, and they all matter a lot.
Yep.
All right. So, how will this offensive line, particularly Steele, Biotish, Williams, hold up against the league's best pressure defense? And that's, at least statistically, they are the best pressure defense in the league. How do they hold up?
So I actually read a really great story from a buddy of mine, Benjamin Solak. He works for The Ringer. He wrote a whole breakdown of the Panthers defense and kind of what they do and how they pressure. And it was very complimentary toward the Panthers, but then it kind of transitioned. It was like, okay, but this is a different caliber of quarterback. And I guess the point I'm bringing up is they're going to pressure Dak, and the offensive line is probably going to have its handful. But over the last 2 years, Dak is incredible against pressure. Like, if you blitz him, I mean, the success rate is off the charts, and that's what makes this so fun. Is I'll take my chances with the Panthers doing what they're doing, and I bet Dak will get sacked a couple times, but he's gonna make them pay if they do that too much. Is my guess.
Yep. I think running the ball. I said it yesterday. I think running the ball is certainly going to help with that. Just be balanced. I mean, don't be a one-dimensional team, and that's why scoring early. What Kellen Moore has been able to do, scheming this up and getting some early drives. All 3 games they have come out and have done a nice job. That first game in Tampa, they were on 2. They got down there. I mean, it's the one throw Dak probably with 1 or 2 throws of that game he'd like to have back. He missed CD wide open, probably would have scored there. But they are starting fast, and by starting fast, then they can play, they can run, they can pass, they can mix it up the way they want to do. So I think whoever scores first here, gets a nice advantage is going to have a huge advantage in this game.
I do think, and actually, it was a funny bit of synergy because I was in the studio yesterday. I was in the control room getting ready to shoot my show, and Will McClay came in to shoot his segment of the coach's show. Mm-hmm. And he broke down the way the Panthers do things. And it was in the story I just referenced as well, which is they basically disguise pressure. So they'll show you a look, 2 DBs come down, safety comes down, whatever. And then at the last second, they'll drop back and do this. And the line has already made their calls and done this, that, and the other. Like, okay, we've got 2 guys on the left. We got to account for that. Then those guys bail out. Line doesn't have people in front of them. And meanwhile, Brian Burns has an unblocked look at the quarterback, which it's fun to watch defenses do stuff like that. But again, Dak Prescott is going to be way better at accounting for that type of stuff than Zach Wilson. And I think that's who that blitz came against, if I remember correctly. Yeah. I think Connor and Tyler and those guys handling all of the weird stuff Carolina's probably going to want to do is going to be a big challenge for this game. But I think having Dak, Matt Rule said it this week. He was like, he looks like Brady and Manning at the line in the way that he's up there. He can account for everything. He knows what every moving part is. And I think that's going to give them an advantage in that.
And the other thing on an interesting point that's similar to that, you look at Dak and how quickly he gets rid of the ball. I read a stat earlier this week. He's the 6th fastest in the league with regards to how fast he gets the ball out. Against teams like that matters, right? And then you think about how they played, particularly I think it was in that first game where you remember early in the game, they were doing all these different kinds of exotic things and misdirections. And when you got a really fast defense that's really aggressive, doing those kinds of things can a lot of times get them to slow down a little bit because they have to take their time to figure out where the ball is and what's happening. So I think between those 2 things, I think the Cowboys are really positioned well to be able to deal with a very aggressive and fast defense like this one and be able to offset some of that stuff with what they do offensively. All right, we're going to take our final break. We'll come back. We got a couple more storylines we want to hit, and then we'll get into some questions. We'll be right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to the break.
Check out the new Miller Lighthouse located outside AT&T Stadium, where Dallas Cowboys game day traditions are born. Enjoy the yard games, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders performance, beer gardens, and more. For more information, visit AT&TStadium.com/Miller Lighthouse.
Final segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. And let's flip over to the defensive side. There are a couple storylines I want to hit with you guys. How much will Dallas benefit from the absence of Christian McCaffrey?
I think that's... Well, I mean, obviously, when you lose a all-pro caliber player, that's big. I mean, that seems obvious, but...
Well, the reason why I say that, though, is how many times have we seen over the last several years, you go into a game, there's some star player that's not there, and you're like, oh, this is going to be an opportunity,
of course.
And it just doesn't get taken advantage of. Somebody else steps up and they kill you.
I mentioned this a couple days ago, but I do wonder, having a versatile running back, and I haven't watched a ton of Carolina, I'm sorry, but...
All 22.
Fix it, Game Pass. It sucks. 22. It's awful.
Yeah.
Having a versatile running back it's something that Joe Brady has leaned on in his career, and that's Christian McCaffrey is a guy that you can feed the ball to as a runner. 16 catches in 9 quarters of play. I mean, do the math on that. He's your safety net, and so the closest thing to a safety net, other than that, assuming Chuba Hubbard is a rookie who's going to take some time, is probably Tommy Trimble, who is also a rookie. So, yeah, I just think in terms of having that outlet to just get the ball out if you need to. Bucky said Darnold looks comfortable. A big part of that is probably having a little bit of a do-everything guy who can help you manufacture yards easily.
Yeah, and when you're a guy like McCaffrey who he shines in the passing game, he has a good understanding of do I block here, do I leak out here and take a screen, just it's not just passes out and routes. I mean, I think very rarely does that happen. This is he's got a good flow of it, and a rookie, it's harder for them to figure that out. So I think athletically, though, Chuba Hubbard can be a really good player and a good runner, and you got somebody to watch out for. But I wonder if they're going to lose a little bit in that dynamic of, okay, blitz here. When we see this, we do this. Do I pick up this guy? So he won't be considered one of the best backs in the NFL if he just leaves and another guy just comes in and takes his place. I think he is one of the best backs.
Yeah. That's a can of worms, but it made me think about the Zeke Pollard debate. I mean, they're good players all over the NFL. I mean, you can replace production if the player's good,
especially at the running back position,
and the coaches know how to scheme for him.
Right.
I haven't seen it from Chuba Hubbard. I know he was a great college player, and he deceptively fast. He's he did track at a pretty high level. I don't remember the specifics, but he's good.
All right. Final defensive question. Can Dallas create pressure, sacks, turnovers against a questionable offensive line? You've got Cam Irving, who the Cowboys know a little bit about as their starting left tackle. Bucky Brooks also mentioned their center, Matt Paradis. What do you think the Cowboys' chances are of getting pressure and maybe even sacks this week against this offensive line?
I'm bummed because I played the Bengals defense last night instead of the Cowboys, and I thought to myself, all you had to hear was Cam Irving is starting on the other side. You should have just done it. Dang it.
I did the same thing, Nick.
Yeah.
Bengals got me a sack.
It's a weird
one.
It's a strange play, in my opinion. No offense, but that's...
It was. Well, but it was a bad move.
This is when you get cute. Cute. You're like, oh, they've been doing pretty good against other defenses.
And Trevor's been throwing a lot of picks.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, this all kind of matches up. It's prime time. Maybe they're at home. Like, maybe their defense just really goes in and goes crazy, and not so much. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Cowboys defense, putting pressure. Yes.
Fun stat that I did not know until 30 minutes ago is that Darnold has fumbled 3 times already this season. So, yeah, there's some potential here. Yeah, we know Cam Irving is not that should be a favorable matchup for Randy Gregory and hopefully for Micah Parsons. Yes, they should be able to put some pressure on Darnold. I would hope so.
Okay, let's go to the east over here to Carolina and Charlotte and Panthers break, whatever they call it, on the prowl. Yeah,
keep pounding.
Yeah. They say, fun fact that I just found out 30 minutes ago is Dak's fumbled 4 times this year.
There you go.
I mean,
sure.
And I'm not saying it's
how many did he lose?
He's lost 2. He's lost 2.
He lost the one against Philly, and did he lose another one?
Oh, he might have only lost 1, actually, now that I think about it.
I think Zach jumped on the one in L.A.
That one, that saved the game.
What was? I don't even remember.
I know it's that's why I don't think they're. Yeah. Sometimes you fumble it, you just get it yourself.
So, yeah. Technically, okay. It counts as a fumble that Dak dropped the snap and then threw a touchdown to Amari.
Right. Yeah.
That's a fumble. Is that a fumble?
I don't.
It might be. It might be considered a fumble.
I'm pretty sure it does. If you go look at the play-by-play, it says
really?
Yeah. So
I'm that's why I say fumbles lost to me is a better stat than just fumbles. But go ahead.
Sam Darnold, though, has more rushing touchdowns this year than he's had in his whole career combined. Like, he had 2 in his whole career, and he's had 3 in the first 3 games. Okay. So he's, and I remember this from the game that they played, the Jets. I was surprised. Of course, wasn't that the year that every quarterback was running on them, Driscoll and Trubisky? But Darnold, I mean, he showed you some.
He's not a statue.
He's really not.
He's not as mobile as Herbert. And obviously not Hurts, but he's not a statue.
Honestly, there's very few, in my opinion, very few quarterbacks that come out of college these days that can at least move around a little bit. Like, it seems like all quarterbacks at this point, a part of the job is you better be able to move. So,
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger he was as big as a house when he came out of college, and he's always been able to kind of, maybe not anymore, but
not anymore. But when he moved back in the day, the interesting thing about him was he was a tank. So when he'd move around, good luck taking him down, especially if he got a running start. Like, he was a big dude.
Yeah, you're right. You don't see a lot of guys like that.
Yeah. It's 4 fumbles for Darnold, but to your point, he's only lost 1 of them.
Got it.
But if you can put some bodies around him in the pocket, that's interesting.
You got a shot. If the ball hits the ground, you got a shot.
And I have to believe they've been able to reliably get pressure against 2 teams that overall have better lines. And I know Philly was banged up with Mailata not out there, but they should. I don't know if they're going to sack him a bunch, but they should be able to put some traffic around him.
And I'm guessing he's not at the top of that list I mentioned earlier of guys that get rid of the ball really quickly. I'm guessing he's not up there at the top of the list. So you should have some time.
I agree.
All right. Yep. Let's go ahead and take a phone call. We got a call from Ryan in Arizona. Ryan, what up?
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, guys. Hope everyone's having a good day.
Indeed.
I was out for the Eagles game last week, and that's probably the first game that wasn't spoiled by poor safety play that I've gone to. And it makes me nervous that so many of these guys are on one-year deals. How do you guys see this shaking out long-term? Who's coming back next year? Might be premature, but I got a little PTSD on the topic.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I mean... Yeah, I understand that you finally see good safety play and you want to hold on to it, but I mean it's a little early for me to be thinking about that, right?
I know it's early, and because to me I don't even think about the safeties. I think about the scheme, and I think about the defensive coordinator and stuff like that. If Dan Quinn is your defensive coordinator, I feel confident that safeties are going to want to play for him, and they're going to understand what they're doing, and they're going to be playmakers. So as long as if he's the coordinator, I feel confident on whoever he brings in. I'll just leave it at that.
And not only that, to try to give you a little more peace of mind, off the top of my head, I mean, DeMonte Casey is a veteran at this point, as is Jaron Kearse. Kearse has been in the league since 16. I think Casey's 17. They both came here for Dan Quinn. They both, they're not these big market, big money. I guess what I'm trying to say is they would have to have Pro Bowl caliber years to price themselves out of here, which maybe they will. But right now, I'm not ready to say that. So I think it's completely plausible that you could sign one or both of those guys to deals that won't kill you. And I didn't include Malik Hooker in that because he's got the name. He's a first-round pick. Mm-hmm. If for some reason he blows up, maybe that could be problematic for you. But right now he's not playing enough snaps where I think he would have that opportunity. So I don't view that as this drastic thing where like, oh my God, all these guys are going to be worth $10 million a year next year. I don't think that's realistic.
Yeah, if you want to keep them, the likelihood that you could keep them is probably pretty sure.
And if they do price themselves out of here, it means you had a hell of a year. So
that means your safeties went to the Pro Bowl. If your safeties go to the Pro Bowl, that means you had a pretty good year defensively. And if you do that, that means they probably are a playoff team, probably a deep playoff team, I would guess.
If that is a problem in 2022, it will be a good problem to have. But I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got a call from Bob in Nashville. Bob, what up?
Hey, guys, great show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Dallas's record overall when the running game is, over 100, 150 yards is a lot better than when Dak throws the ball 50 or more times. So it behooves us, I think, to probably run the ball as much as we can. What about the addition of a fullback? I think I tweeted that to you, Derek. I really think that's a valuable asset if we can utilize that, because that means that they pick up that first defender, like usually a linebacker, that Zeke or Tony Pollard doesn't have to deal with. I wanted to pick your brains about that. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thank you. Can I say something real quick before you get to that? This always bugs me a little bit when people talk about that stat of, they win when they rush, because I think what everybody's forgetting is rushing is a byproduct of winning. What I mean is when you're winning, you're able to run more in the second half, so there will be games when it looks like that's the reason why, when really that's not the reason why you won. It's a byproduct. But go ahead. I want to get to whatever.
No one ever says, "Hey, we got to pass out the clock here."
Right.
I mean, we're run out the clock. That's what you're trying to do. That's typically what you do, and run stats are a sign of success. I think I've never heard Kellen Moore say this, but I think that in his offense, he feels like a fullback sort of limits what they want to do from a versatility standpoint. Now, if you get a dynamic fullback that can, be really good out of the backfield catching the ball, that's one thing. But you put these guys on the field because you want to create matchup problems. You have these two tight ends. We can run it out of this. We can throw it out of this. Fullback, it's really got to be a 3rd and 1. Here's McGovern coming in or whoever they want to bring in at fullback. And we're not trying to trick you. We're just trying to get this yard. Mm-hmm. So I think for the most part, though, they don't really want to have a fullback out there. That's just my thought.
And I love the solution to it, because you do want one on occasion. And Kellen was like, Connor McGovern can do this. And I think Sean McEwen can probably do stuff like that when he's healthy again. Mm-hmm. Blake Bell had a very small role doing stuff like that last year. And I love the versatility of it, because you're not necessarily tipping your hand. And that's the thing is, if it's 3rd or 4th and 1 and you just got to dig people out and get a yard, that's great. But in general, why do you want to invite people into the box? And that's what a fullback does. You're like, okay, they got a lead blocker. Here he comes. And now you're crowding down. My goal, and I think Kellen's goal, is to spread things out and be, again, as multidimensional as possible and create the most favorable matchups. I want Zeke running into nickelbacks, not linebackers.
Yeah. But I will say this, if you do invite those guys down into the box, you need a guy that's going to be in that fullback position like a Connor McGovern who moves people. And you can't have and I know they've done this before, the Cowboys have done this in the past where they'll take a tight end and put him in that situation, and the tight end runs up to the line, and he blocks the guy, but he didn't move him. So when you're in close quarters and you need that yard, you need somebody that's going to move. You need somebody that's going to make a way. Yeah. And that's where I love what they did with Connor McGregor. Connor McGovern. Get somebody out back there that's actually going to move someone out of the way, so your running back then has a bit of a lane or at least a crease where he can get that yard.
It's a fun wrinkle, and I hope we see some more of it in those situations. I don't want to see McGovern out there on too many first or
McGregor.
They need to play McGregor.
He can hang out in the suite.
But I don't want to see him out there.
No, you want to see the McGregor walk afterwards when you get into the end zone. But now they need a play called the QB sneak. And I'm not talking about QB. I'm talking about Quentin Bohanna.
Oh, God.
Put him in there and let him just run into somebody.
You're talking about as a fullback,
As a fullback.
Okay, because when you say QB sneak, I'm imagining Bohanna taking the snap.
Right,
I'm like,
no. You know what I really want him to do, and this might hurt your quarterback, but
Yeah, no, don't.
No?
Oh, you want him to?
It would have worked.
No, but then your quarterback might not have gotten up. No, that's not a
So
good idea.
what I say this in the press box all the time. Like on a quarterback sneak, I want my fullback just hitting the quarterback right in the back.
No,
just
I'm
pushed up.
I'm 100%. I'm with you, by the way. Like
No.
Dak's wearing a flak jacket. He's a grown man.
Okay,
He's fine.
Bohannon is like 100
And he's gonna push him into the end zone.
He doesn't.
What are we
Okay, he
doing?
doesn't have to lead in targeting. Okay, just push. Like just.
I'm trying to get in the paint any way I can. Dak doesn't
My quarterback
care.
is way too important to me for me to have a defensive lineman hitting him in the back on purpose. Like,
shove.
no.
Friendly shove. Okay, can we just shove?
Dak is like the toughest. He might not.
He's tough. I get that. That's not my point. My point is things happen in the NFL. It is a contact sport. Like, I don't want to create extra contact for my quarterback.
I'm not asking him
Why?
to spear the quarterback in the back. Just push.
All right, real quick, before we end the show, we need to get some predictions. What do you guys think is going to happen this Sunday? 12 o'clock noon, Cowboys, Panthers.
I think the Cowboys. I think it's going to be a good game. I do believe that the Panthers are probably one of those teams that's going to be a good, well improved team. This is a great test for them. I think the Cowboys are rolling though, and it's going to be a good game. I think they win. I'll say 24-19.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that. I have this feeling like something weird's going to happen. The score of this game is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get a safety or maybe a missed extra point. Hopefully not from Greg Zuerlein. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
But I think
punt block.
Maybe I don't. I just
Before
feel
the half?
I feel like it's something mucky's going to happen. But I do I have absolute faith in this offense the way they're playing right now. Dak Prescott is so impressive and so confident. I don't think it's going to look pretty all the time. Like they're going to pressure him. Like I said, I bet he takes a couple sacks, but I think he's going to burn them if they try to pressure him too much. I think there's a lot of plays to be made in the passing game. Amari Cooper has talked this week about how much man they play. Have fun. Play all the man you want. I think the Cowboys will win that more often than not. And I don't think it's going to be an easy win, but I think the Cowboys win 25-20. I think the Panthers defense has enough to them to kind of stand up, and they're not going to score 40 this week, but 25-20.
I got 24-19. So what do you?
I had 25-20 before you said that, so
Really?
like
That's
my
weird.
eyebrows kind of perked up.
And I had, when you said, I was thinking 24-16. I think it's the game. The Cowboys don't score as much as they would against North.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have some issues. There's some things they're going to have to figure out. But I think when they get rolling, I think they'll score. And I was actually even thinking that's healthy. The 16 for them is kind of healthy. I think without their best player, I think offensively they may be stretched a bit, and it may be closer to 10 or 12 points for Carolina, because I think they're going to have some struggles trying to get the ball in the end zone. I think the way the game's going to stay close is their defense is going to create some plays for them, maybe some turnovers. That's going to be the big issue for
I'm not
for
calling out the Cowboy fans, Cowboys Nation, because they're great fans, but this is a test for them. Monday night, Eagles, first game. Yeah. Congratulations! You got loud. You had towels. You did it.
You won.
Yeah, you did an awesome job, and they played a role. Noon, Panthers, bring it. That's where you need to show that you're in this thing, and like
right.
we haven't always seen that. But before, I'm not. I don't know if Carolina's gonna have a lot of fans. They're probably gonna have some. They're probably excited about their team.
It's in the game you're going to get a lot,
Yeah.
but there'll be a couple.
But I just think this is one where you want to have a home field advantage. It's easy to do it on a Monday night against a division team that you hate. Do it against the Panthers.
Yeah.
Beautifully said. Noon game against an uncommon opponent. It has a tendency to be kind of sleepy in there.
I'm calling out you, Olivia.
Games.
You, Olivia, my daughter, at the game. Bring it, okay? Thank you.
No, this is one of those games where, fans can tend to sometimes, how fans can be. This is one of those games on the schedule you're like, I'll take my season tickets and I'll sell these tickets because this is just the Panthers.
You got
3-0
though. Maybe that.
Yeah, maybe that's
like you said. This is a sexier looking game than it was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll be back on Monday. We'll let you guys know what went right and wrong for the Cowboys. Break all that down for you. Till then, for Nick Eatman and Dave Hellman, I'm Derek Eagleson. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!